Hello, Stuart.
Good evening, Floris.
Hey, how are you?
I'm... I'm pretty good. Bank holiday weekend here in the UK, so pretty good.
Wasn't it like a bank holiday last week as well?
No, we had two last month or the month before. I don't know. Jeremy Corbyn, man, we fucking bank holiday every weekend, man. We live in
you had some extra days off last week, then I think.
Oh, I was off last week. Yeah, I just took that off. That was me.
Right.
I wasn't feeling it.
That's just me keeping tabs on your private life, just because I can.
Stalking my fucking social media activity. Big spike in that last week.
Oh yeah.
I got followed by a former England footballer on Twitter this week.
A former England footballer? Is that because you keep tweeting about statistics about the most beautiful game now?
I don't know. It was a random one. He's unfollowed me since, so that was a glorious.
That's always a downer, isn't it?
A wonderful 2-day period where former England ace Andy Johnson followed me. But
Andy Johnson, if you're listening, please write the show. P.O. Box.
Tell us why. Tell us what I did to drive you away.
I sometimes get I've got one famous person, quote unquote, following me, and I've got a couple of web famous people following me. And I'm like, I want to ask what my appeal is, but I don't want to be like, oh my god, I'm your biggest fan, because I'm afraid that's what it would seem like.
Yeah, the weirdest follow I ever had was football journalist Rafa Honigstein, the German football writer. He's really good. He's written a couple of books about football, and being German, sort of very analytical and stuff. And I really like his work. And he just followed me one day out of the blue, and I was like, what have I done to deserve this sort of attention? He has also since unfollowed me, so it's not a great record that I've got. Former world heavyweight boxing champion Riddick Bowe followed me very briefly, but the only famous person...
And since then he's unfollowed you as well.
Yeah, he has indeed. The only famous person I have really cared about following me, though, is my childhood hero, Ken Shamrock, and he still follows me, and he's followed me for like 2 years now. So.
Well, we've discussed Ken Shamrock before, I think.
We probably have.
In the way back when we first did this.
Probably, I discuss him... I mean, in my real day-to-day life, I discuss him all the time, so, you know... Because I fucking love Ken Shamrock. He's amazing. Oh, what a man.
He's definitely. I think it was because his Twitter account is not verified.
It is now. It wasn't at the time.
It wasn't at the time. That's it. That's the entire thing.
His quest for a blue tick has since borne fruit. Happily. He's still begging WWE for like a job though, so it's sad. But, fucking whatever.
Well, lots of people need work, so why would he be any different?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that he's a worthless pleb like me, but it's just people fall on hard times.
Pardon?
I said sometimes just people fall on hard times.
Absolutely.
Happens to the best of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ken Shamrock, fascinating life. I've always thought they should make a biopic of his life. He is a fascinating individual. He was like homeless from the age of 10. Was imprisoned by like 14 for being in an armed robbery. Ended up being taken in and adopted by a dude and learning fucking martial arts, and then became the UFC champion. Like
that sounds like a movie to begin with.
Exactly right. Fascinating individual. Fucking great. It's a great arc. It's hardship. He's cool. Yeah, I don't know why they never made that into a film. Interesting man.
It does sound like it. Yeah.
It is.
So, are you drinking anything?
I am drinking Buckfast tonic wine, which I found out earlier this afternoon. Contains a higher caffeine percentage than Red Bull, so I'm fucking wired, like
buzzed.
Yeah, I am ready to go. Let's do this.
Oh yeah. Buckfast, that's Buck's Fizz. What is Buckfast again?
Buck's Fizz is the champagne orange juice drink. Buckfast is a tonic wine originally brewed by Benedictine monks in Scotland. And now is the choice of the Scottish inner city hooligan and homeless.
Even more so than Iron Brew.
Oh, that's what they drink the morning after a night on the Buckfast. Those are really the two staples of sort of Scottish drinking.
The two things that keep a Scottish person alive.
More or less, yeah, absolutely. The caffeine and alcohol content of the Buckfast and the sugar content of the Iron Brew, and that is all the Scotsman needs to sustain himself.
It does sound like a very good diet.
And heroin and porridge oats.
Well, yeah, because otherwise train spotting wouldn't be a thing, right?
Exactly.
Hopefully
going to Glasgow in November. Wonderful city. Amazing place.
Any particular reason?
Wrestling.
Okay.
There you go. But yeah, great. Went there last November for the same wrestling event. Great city. What a city. Full of great people.
A buddy of mine went there a couple of times with this the company he worked for, because they managed to do like whiskey trips every year or so for the company party instead of and he's now gone so many times he doesn't want to go to Glasgow anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. I've only been there once, so the novelty hasn't worn off. I only went on one street as well. We spent literally the full 2 days just going up and down Argyle Street because it had everything that we needed there. There's a bar and grill on Argyle Street called Lebowski's.
Yeah. And
it serves 28 different kinds of White Russian, all of which are named and themed around characters from the movie The Big Lebowski. It's brilliant. And they do a White Russian niche.
That's very specific, yeah, niche.
It is, yeah. But great, a cool little bar, and they do a White Russian that contains Buckfast tonic wine, which sounds fucking horrific to me, but there you go.
It does sound terrifying.
Well, I wanted to try it last time I was there, and on the Saturday afternoon I ordered one, and they were like, "We're out of Buckfast because last night was Friday night in Glasgow, and they've drank all the Buckfast, so we haven't got it." so yeah, that's Buckfast and the Scottish. How's that covered off? What are you drinking, if anything?
I am. Yeah, well, I'm trying to quit. Yeah, I'm drinking Veltins, which is the standard little brand. They got Argus and they got Veltins, which is like 10 cents more expensive, but you actually taste its beer.
Is that the sort of Carling analogue for the thinking Dutchman?
I would say it's about a Carling, yeah.
Alright.
It's like I drink this pretty much on the regular because it's like the cheapest that is still tasteful.
Yeah, so it's not like the bargain basement, like the I don't know, Kestrel in this country, Kestrel Super Strength, like the tramp beers.
Carlsberg.
Well, Carlsberg's just piss. Like it's not.
Yeah. Carlsberg Export is alright, but Carlsberg itself is just.
Tuborg as well, which is also made by Carlsberg. Tuborg's pretty good.
Yeah, Tuborg's okay.
And randomly features in The Simpsons as well.
Probably because it's got such a daft name.
Probably, yeah. There's just a random episode of The Simpsons where Moe runs out of Duff for some reason. And he's like, "Ain't got no Duff, Homer." And he's like, "What do you got?" "Tuborg, the beer of Danish kings." It's like, well, that was fucking random. Why on earth? Tuborg in The Simpsons.
You actually managed to do quite a good Moe there.
Thank you very much. I've watched a lot of Simpsons. I'm glad it wasn't a complete waste of time.
Finally, I've got something in my life achieved.
And I've even watched the rubbish ones. Like series 28 onward, I've seen all those. They're fucking terrible. I don't even like them. But there's nothing else on British TV at 7 PM apart from that and Friends. So
you've already seen every episode of Friends.
Do you know, I don't need to watch Friends anymore ever. Like my mum watches it all the time. Every time I go to my mum's house, Friends is on, and like I go to my girlfriend's family's house, and they default to either The Big Bang Theory, or Friends, and I'm like, oh, this episode of Friends again. Like I enjoyed it.
I already know all the episodes of Friends, so I don't need to see them again.
And the thing is, they do as well. Like an episode of Friends comes on, and everyone in the room goes like, "Oh yeah, it's this one," and then everyone does the jokes, like does all the quotes from the episode, and then sits and watches the episode, and then laughs at the jokes they've all just done. And it's like, I enjoyed this episode. The first 50 times I heard the bit where Joey laughs at Homo erectus at Ross's seminar, I laughed as well. But I'm okay now. Like I've seen it. I don't need to watch it anymore. And I love Friends, but
it's so weird to consider that was like a groundbreaking comedy series for its time, because it wasn't about the family and it wasn't about anything set around a single piece. It was just a couple of people who kind of knew each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, when did Friends debut? Because I feel like we had that in the UK years previous with coupling, but maybe Friends actually predate the coupling.
I think Friends was 1989 when it first
Fucking
started.
hell, no way. Really?
Was,
I thought it was like 93, 94.
It was on the arse end of the 80s when
Was it?
when it became conceptualized at the very least.
Oh my god, that's blowing my mind. I thought Friends
No,
was very
I'm
much a
absolutely
product of the
wrong here.
90s.
It's 1994.
So I was right, okay. There we go. Alright, I wasn't going to look it up. I was just going to let that sit there and let everyone who listens to this tweet in and be like, you fucking idiot. And we should start getting things, because if we keep doing these and they keep being sort of average, right, people won't respond to it. If you are wrong on the internet, people will, like, you won't believe the amount of response that being wrong on the internet will get you. We should start deliberately saying things incorrectly on here, and that will hopefully drive the numbers up. Because people, you know, do not at me.
I think it would conflict with my morals.
We
pretend to be an idiot online is something I'm already very good at. I know no need to actually exaggerate that fucking fact about my life.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Dutch alcohols. Is Oranjeboom a thing in Holland?
Oranjeboom is a thing, but I think the brand no longer exists.
You pronounce it better than me. Oh, really? Oh. That's like fucking 8% or something now. Like,
was it? I thought it was just
beer.
No,
like maybe it was like some weird export we used to get, but it was very much one of those things that you'd see in the corner shop. You know, they were selling individual cans. You couldn't buy a 4-pack, just individual cans of it. Proper gut rot. Like, you'd drink 2 of them and it would fuck you, and then the next day your stomach would just be like, oh, what have you done?
2004, Oranjeboom closed its brewery in Breda in the Netherlands.
Well, they definitely still sell it in the UK.
The brand got sold to United Dutch Breweries BV, and they own the brand. And doesn't say where they're brewing it now.
It's definitely been on sale post 04, because that wasn't in my drinking years. Well, not legally. Excuse me, and I have definitely seen it since then. But I just wondered if it was like I wondered if they'd, for some reason, it was some shitty, like, premium lager that we'd brewed here, and they were like, well, we've got to make it sound European somehow, we'd call it Dutch, like, because it seemed so low market. I couldn't believe that would make it out of the country it was conceived in.
It's brewed in the UK, it's brewed in Germany for export to the US, and it's brewed in New Zealand.
The US?
No, it's brewed in Germany for export to the US.
They drink that in the US. I bet they think it's some highbrow thing over there as well. I bet it's like the hipster's choice in America.
Freddie Heineken once said, to the foreign world, we are a Mercedes. To the Dutch, we are just another car. That's pretty much how we consider most of our beers. It's like, yeah, the beer is okay, and then I'll go, like, in England and like, oh yeah, I only drink Amstel. Oh yeah, I only drink Heineken. I'm like, why? They're just beers.
Grolsch.
Grolsch.
The most Dutch of all the named beers.
Grolsch.
Makes me way too gassy. gives me the windy pops big time.
Eating protein and drinking lots of beer brings out the best in breaking winds.
I just meant burping, but yeah, I'm sure. I mean, protein will do a number on the old large intestine.
Smelly beer farts.
Smelly beer farts, indeed. Fucking Oranjeboom, mate. I'm telling you. Whoa.
Is this a high point we're breaking, or is this a low point we're reaching?
I mean, you know, it's all relative.
Like incest. And there we go.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Now we know. Now we know exactly where we are.
I just had to lower that bar just a little bit further.
Well, you know, plus side, it's all uphill from there. No?
Well, yeah, okay. So you said before we were going to do this, you were going to watch the Limey. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to surprise Stuart, and I'm going to quickly watch the Limey as well.
Oh,
How long is that film?
It's
an hour and a half. I can bang that out just before
exactly.
We start recording, and I've got everything done. So I watched the Limey, and I'm like, it's Terence Stamp.
Yeah.
Oh, this is probably going to be like a fun, like, British gangster comedy action.
No. No.
It's like a super serious, you know, mental thriller, and it ends up with a very grimy shootout that doesn't pull any punches, and I'm like, afterwards, like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, man.
And Terrence Stamp can be actually quite terrifying.
Stamp, this is probably his best film. This or Billy Budd, which, I mean, but then them's two very different Terrence Stamps. In Billy Budd, Billy Budd was made in like 64-ish, and he's pretty in Billy Budd. He's not even handsome, he's pretty. He is a pretty young man in Billy Budd. And he's very charming, very doughy-eyed, and very kind of, I'm Billy Budd, I'm very friendly. And then, this is a different Terrence Stamp. But, I mean, one of those two films is his best performance, I think. The Limey, if people haven't seen The Limey, they will definitely probably know the bit where he screams, tell him I'm fucking coming! Which sounds overtly sexual out of context. But it's in a load of YouTube compilations of really threatening threats. Yeah, he's menacing. But yeah, I think The Limey's his best film. He's terrifying in The Limey. But I love Terrence Stamp.
It feels like a so much more modern film than it is. I checked the year it was made. It's like 1999, but it still holds up.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even feel like it was 99. It could have come out this year, and it still would have been just as relevant as it was then as it is now.
Timeless.
And it's
Timeless
great,
film.
and it's, oh my god, the shots and the editing, it's just, I don't even have any words for it.
The editing is
great.
Something else. Really something else. It's Soderbergh's best film, I think.
Like, I have terrible attention deficit, but I was, like, nearly glued to watching it. I'm like, I barely even took my eyes off to check why the hell my phone was buzzing now.
I've seen it before, years ago. And I was reminded of it by another podcast, and I thought, I'll give The Limey a go, because I've not really because I enjoyed it the first time, but I didn't appreciate it. But this time, really, really appreciated it on many levels. But it's what you said about the sort of you thought it was going to be like, Terrence Stamp being a big Cockney gangster, and I guess you thought it was going to be like a Lock, Stock, a caper. But I think it's very much deliberately subversive of that. I think Soderbergh deliberately was like, there's like loads of these films now, because in the 90s you got all like Lock, Stock was out, and before that even the Tarantino movies and all that stuff. Stylish gangster flicks.
Lake came soon after.
Essex Boys was just on the heels of it. All that stuff. It was very much on vogue to do like the stylish gangster movie, sexy, all the Ray Winston movies, Sexy Beast in the Business, all those. And I think Soderbergh,
the fun side of the criminal gangsters.
I think so. Actually, well, not Sexy Beast, but Soderbergh clearly was like, okay, enough of this now. Let's really undercut this and make it really poignant and, let's be honest, tragic. Actually, quite a sad film. He's quite a sad figure.
Because in the end, you're like, the good guy has the bad guy, and you're expecting something like a one-liner or an execution, but it's not. It just gives us something we go like, wow, fuck.
Yeah. You mentioned that shootout as well. Really reminded me of Taxi Driver and the ending shootout in that, where...
Yeah, I can see that.
It's the shootout especially in The Limey, with the way the editing is so prevalent throughout. The shootout is the thing that is shot sort of the most straightforwardly, and it's kind of done in a matter-of-fact way. It doesn't make the violence look big or explosive. Obviously in Taxi Driver there's like gallons of blood, but that aside, everything's kind of matter-of-fact.
Surprising little blood, yeah,
but everything's very matter-of-fact. Not massive noises, not massive like
the one bloke that gets shot in like both shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, little to no blood. It just goes like, fuck, and then it turns around and they get shot again. It's like, shit, and he just topples over. That's it.
But it's kind of done unceremoniously, no music, no big, like, mad
editing. I hesitate to call it realistic, because in the end it's still fiction, but it does feel very grounded, very down to earth.
That's why I would, like, sort of blunt or matter of fact. I wouldn't call it realistic, but, like, it's done without any kind of circumstance, and it's not sort of heightened with any directorial bells or whistles, and it gives it this really gritty feel, which is weird because because the rest of The Limey it's quite dreamlike almost. Because
there's like several like imaginations, I would like to say, where he thinks, where he shows killing people, but in the end the actual movie doesn't go through with it.
And even just like, and the stuff that does happen, you get the same conversation repeated 3 or 4 times. The same event, you see it 3 or 4 times, just from different angles and stuff, and it keeps coming back throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Quite a dreamlike, surrealist thing. And then when you get the actual violence, it's all very matter of fact, very kind, very, here's the violence then.
There's actually more blood in the imagination, yeah.
Yes,
when he shoots...
I hadn't even twigged onto that, but yes, there is. When he's envisioning killing your man.
Yeah, because there's like big blood sprays on the curtains and the surroundings around him, like headshots, and it's like bloody mess. And in the end, nothing like that. And
if we were, clever film student types, we'd probably be able to dig a little bit deeper into this now and see how clever Soderbergh was there. But that's where my analysis ends. They contrasted them. There, that is.
Aren't you a clever movie cinema type?
I'm not really. I did media in college, but I'm not a film. I don't profess to know films. I know I know 2 film terms. One is mise en scène, and one is diegetic sound, and those are the only 2 film terms that I know.
I do know mise en scène as well.
Yeah. Diegetic sound?
No.
Diegetic sound is sound that we can hear and the characters in the movie can hear. Non-diegetic sound is sound that only we can hear. So if there's a score
in space.
If there's a score or a soundtrack, that's non-diegetic because the characters in the movie can't hear the score. We can.
Right.
There you go. Look, see, that media A level wasn't a waste.
Learn something new every day. Mm-hmm. Mind you, I do follow a script doctor on Twitter, and he does these analytical things about mostly Doctor Who episodes. Because he really loves Doctor Who, but he does them on a lot of popular sci-fi and fantasy films as well. Like, he didn't do one on Spider-Man Homecoming because he thought he kind of missed the boat, but he did one on Dark Tower, and he did one on Batman v Superman, and things like that. His name is Andrew Ellard. He was also one of the writers on the IT show. So if you're on Twitter, IT Crowd, sorry. Yeah,
good.
One.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if you're on Twitter and you'd like to follow somebody who has interesting insights about this kind of thing, follow Andrew Ellard, and I'll
follow us.
Follow us as well. I make these videos sometimes, and I try to convey what I think works and what doesn't. But I hadn't even clocked on, like, the Defenders came out last weekend, right? To date this episode.
Yep.
And somebody went like, oh yeah, thematically you can see all the scenes for Luke Cage are like yellowish, and all the ones for Matt Murdock are like reddish, and all the ones for Iron Fist are green, and the ones for... I'm like, what? I didn't see any of that.
Wow.
When they're in the restaurant together, all the colours are coming together. I'm like, okay.
I do love it if I'm watching something and I actually notice shit like that myself, though. That is a real, I pat myself on the back and I'm like, I'm going to be able to talk to somebody about this later on. But 90% of the things that I, like, especially on this podcast, 90% of the things that I'm like, did you know that in such and such scene? Like, it's stuff I've got off IMDb. Like that masquerade ball bit from Batman Returns. Like, I fucking read that. I didn't notice that myself. I don't know about that, but I came.
It's a good thing to know.
Yeah, I didn't know it is, because then when you go back and watch it again, you'll be like, this is.
You can appreciate it a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, no. In short, the Limey, cracking film.
Yeah, the Limey is like, to stipulate for anybody listening, the Limey, not the lie in me, the Limey, Limey, which is the British slang for... American slang for a Brit.
For a Brit. Fun fact, Michael Caine was originally penciled in to play that role, not Terence Stamp.
That would explain so much about the fucking accent.
I know, right?
Christ, that was bothering me the entire movie. I'm like...
How Cockney he is. Yes,
I was like, wow. That's like, is that Michael Caine's accent? Yeah, is Michael Caine a Cockney? Like,
it's.
I'm not. I don't know these things, okay? But
at times it's bordering on parody, where he's like, "Oh, me old China," like, and then there's an American guy that like, "China, what the hell are you talking about, man?" And he's like, oh, we all trying to plate, mate, you know, like, and it, like, fucking leans so hard into it. My only conclusion I can draw is Steven Soderbergh thinks that is hilarious. Like, he fucking loves the way Cockneys talk in rhyming slang, and he crowbars shitloads it. So yeah, originally, but I mean, imagine if it had been Michael Caine. That would have been too much, surely. That would have been too much Cockney, like, because Stamp's really menacing, and you can take him seriously.
I was about to say,
but Caine would have just been like, I'm imagining fucking Alfred from the Batman films is what I'm imagining in this role, like, or just in Harry Brown. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Caine has done like gangster films, but I really wouldn't be able to see him in this.
Nah.
Especially not after I've seen it with Terence Stamp in it now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I'm going to go on record and say it right now. Terence Stamp is better than Michael Caine.
I would definitely agree with that. There.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, better than Zulu. There you go.
I mean, one of them was Alfred, the other one was General Zod.
Oh shit! Yeah, good call.
Kneel before Zod.
He's dead good in that as well. Oh, Terence Stamp. Yeah. I love Terence Stamp.
I love Terence Stamp.
I know I referenced it earlier, but fucking Billy Budd, like, it's a film no one's seen because it's old as fuck. Like, it's over half a century old at this point.
I was about to say, it's 1962 and I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, the only reason I've heard of it and the only reason I watched it is because there's a Morrissey song called Billy Budd, named after the movie, because Morrissey loves all those old movies. And it was on TV one night, and I was like, oh, Billy Budd, well, if it's good enough for Morrissey. And I watched it, and it's a very young Terence Stamp, and it's Peter Ustinov, and they are both just colossal. Peter Ustinov is amazing. Peter Ustinov, if people don't know him because he's so old, he was one of those guys for the longest time. I knew the name, but I didn't know what he was. You will know him, and I knew him best as Prince John in Disney's Robin Hood.
What?
Yeah, man. And he plays this. He plays an admiral of the Royal Navy in Billy Budd, and he's this very stern sort of paragon of morality, really. And there's a really tough moral choice that he has to make, whether to condemn this young, doughy-eyed Terence Stamp to justice, because he knows it's justice. Law, or whether he lets him off with his crime because he knows that that's justice, and it's this big thing, and he's. Oh, it's Prince John, but he's being serious. It's amazing. And he's got that same voice. Like, seeing a man do the Prince John voice and have a face to the voice is amazing, because his voice is fucking incredible.
I'll take your word for it. I'm probably going to have a go at looking at that.
It's a great... Like, it's really, really old, but as I say, I only watched it because it happened to be on TV, and I'm a big Morrissey fan. Like, I wasn't watching it of any... I didn't even know what it was about. Didn't have a clue what it was about, and I put it on, and I fucking loved it.
To put the R in TLDR here, Pete, what was his name?
Peter Ustinov.
Peter Ustinov, yeah?
Yeah.
So, you say he's like the voice of Prince John in Robin Hood. But I have these revelations to myself every couple of years when I watch an older Disney movie, but then I watch it in an English language. Because when I first saw movies here in the Netherlands, I saw a Dutch dub.
Oh.
So I'm like, half those voices I don't even remember who they were, because let's face it, there's very few iconic Dutch actors that haven't, broadened their horizons and gone to America or the UK.
Rutger Hauer is the only famous Dutch actor.
Game of Thrones has Michael Huisman, who was bollocks, I lost his name. Durrani, the hand of Daenerys in, the guy with the beard.
No. What's his name? Sorry.
His Dutch name is...
No, sorry, in Game of Thrones.
Durrani? Dario Naharis.
Oh, right. Dario. Okay, yeah, okay. Dario's a big fan.
That's him. Yeah. And you got, of course, Black Book. What's the name? Yeah, the movie by Paul Verhoeven. Carice Van Houten.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Carice Van Houten?
I know Milhouse Van Houten.
Rebecca Romaine, X-Men.
Oh, is she Dutch?
Yeah.
Wait, Verhoeven's Dutch, isn't he?
Yeah, Verhoeven's Dutch.
Yeah, he's the man.
There we go.
He's the man.
It's like
is
these
Casper Van
people...
Dien Dutch, or is it a Dutch name?
Is who?
Casper Van Dien. Is he Dutch, or is it a Dutch name?
I'd have to check that. Casper Van... It does sound like a Dutch name.
He's the main man from Starship Troopers. and then did nothing else.
No, born Milton, Florida, USA.
Oh, well, someone in his family was Dutch at some point.
Yeah, exactly, like Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh,
So yeah, every time I'm watching a Disney movie nowadays, I'm like, holy shit, this guy was this guy? And then we got a Dutch dub, and I'm like, who was he? I don't remember. It's like Brian Blessed was in Tarzan.
yeah. Absolutely.
Brian fucking Blessed.
And you had no idea. And John Cleese. John Cleese as well.
No idea. And then somebody was like, oh, look at this piece from Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, I don't really pay attention to Kingdom Hearts. And I'm like, hang on, is that Brian Blessed? Brian Blessed is in Tarzan, and that made me rewatch Tarzan.
Wait, Brian Blessed's in Kingdom Hearts.
Weirdest discovery to make out of all of this is that Montgomery Jack from the Rescue Rangers was Australian.
Which one's Montgomery Jack?
The big mouse with the moustache.
Oh, shit, okay.
Because in Dutch he just has a normal Dutch accent.
Dutch voice.
And then English he's got Jim Cummings going like, oh no, what's up with these chassis whackers?
Chassis whackers.
Chassis whackers.
So you know when you get your Dutch dub, do you get the songs?
Yeah, we do get the songs, but they get
I mean in
translated.
Dutch or...
Yeah, in Dutch.
Oh, so your Tale as Old as Time is completely different.
Exactly.
Oh, I need to fucking look this up when this is finished. I've got to hear the Dutch version of Tale as Old as Time. Although, actually, I should have known this, because the missus was once watching a compilation of all the different languages of Let It Go on YouTube, and then we went through them all and rated them by, like, nation, which sounded the best.
If you want to watch something that is terrifying in Dutch and is a Disney song, watch Hellfire from the Hunchback of the Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
I know the English version is Tony J, and Tony J is like a Shakespearean thespian actor with a lot of weight behind him, and I would never, ever imply anybody else is better than him. But the Dutch version has a singing voice, only for this part, done by a Dutch opera singer, and he just sounds so scary and so venomous. He was also the Dutch Jean Valjean, Javert.
That's even better. My favourite character.
So he was Javert in the Dutch production of Les Miserables.
My favourite
So
character.
he is also my favourite character.
Yeah.
So he just brings his grandiose theatrical thing to that one song.
Better than Russell Crowe, or? But I am going to say here and now. I don't hate Russell Crowe as Javert.
I don't hate Russell Crowe as Javert. But
everybody slated him and said how terrible and laughably bad he was, but he was okay, I think.
I just think he hasn't got much range in singing.
No, he hasn't. This is the difference, though, isn't it? Hugh Jackman is a trained singer. His background is in being a trained singer. Russell Crowe. Yeah, absolutely. Russell Crowe has got a vanity project band that he set up himself. Like, he's coming from a different background here. Like, he's woefully out of his depth, which I'm not excused. Like, all I'm saying is, it's the casting director's fault, not Russell Crowe's.
Yeah, they shouldn't have cast Russell Crowe. That's it.
He did the best that he could. He's better than the cast of fucking Mamma Mia. You know.
Oh,
that really criminal.
That's a movie I saw once and then
once only, and
for the rest of my life.
Hey, the sequel's coming out.
Fuck me, you reminded me of that.
The sequel is coming out.
Not slamming ABBA or anything, because ABBA made pop songs that are super fucking catchy. And they're catchy for a reason, so...
ABBA, though, I will say, ABBA have got hidden depths. Check out the album The Visitors, which is about the climate of fear in Sweden around a potential Soviet invasion. It is fucking incredible.
What the actual cocking fuck did you just say?
It's called The Visitors, and it's about the atmosphere of fear in Sweden about, the rise of communism.
Yeah.
And the visitors in the song are the communists potentially coming, to get you on a night. It's great. Like, it's really synth driven and really it's ABBA's experimental phase. It's a cracking album. It's great. Hidden Depths.
So it's like Queen's disco album, but then good.
It's like Queen's disco album, but in reverse. Yeah. It's like, this shit band. Well, they're doing something serious-ish. Serious. I mean, it still sounds like ABBA, but it's ABBA with synths and singing about communism.
No, but honestly, ABBA makes poppy songs, and it worked, and they're fun to listen to. So,
yeah, no, they know what they're doing. They know what their market is, and they fucking smash it out of the park. Like, I like all the fucking Disney kids. Like, they're all fine. I don't mind. Like Demi Lovato, all them. They know what their music is, and they're good at it. It's fun.
So, but then the problem was making a musical out of it, not per se, but then making that musical into Colin Firth, Pierce Brosnan. Well, it might work on stage, but I would never go see a musical about ABBA songs in a theatre.
Yeah. Like if they gave it the We Will Rock You treatment and made a musical specifically written around ABBA songs.
Yeah, they did that,
but they didn't. But they did, but in the wrong way, I think. But yeah, you're right. Like, it's really like. Do you know who really surprised me? Because I assumed she'd be good going in, but then was terrible. Meryl Streep.
Weird, isn't it?
Because she's good in everything, and I was like, well, she can probably sing. Why wouldn't she be? And I was like, oh no. But it wasn't even just her singing. I just thought she was bad in the because Pierce Brosnan, his singing parts are criminal, but but when he's acting, it's like, oh yeah, it's Pierce Brosnan, so he's good, he's adequate. But Meryl Streep was just bad in the whole thing. She just wasn't good, and that surprised the hell out of me because she's pound for pound probably the best female actor of all time. Female actress.
Yeah, you can say female actor because
I think they prefer it, don't they, nowadays?
Nowadays people just tend to go with actor in general.
Yeah, I know. But I'm progressive.
To conglomerate them more into one single job.
Equality is happening.
Yeah, well, I don't care either way.
No, that's right.
I'll call people whatever they want to be called.
The preferred pronoun.
Yes.
Is it just a noun in this case? Just a noun. Yes. No, in English language at school, I did an A level in English language, so I should know this.
I wish I spoke English.
Yeah, well, you speak better English than me. So.
Every now and then, I still make absolutely horrendous choices, especially when my mouth moves faster than my brain goes.
Your English is better than my Dutch,
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I can say Van Nistelrooy and nothing else, and I probably ruined that pronunciation.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I thought so. Going back about 5 conversations, though, to once again put the R in TLDR.
Yes.
The dubbing of films and stuff. And then you see the English version and go, oh, fuck, what? Like, I actually can relate to that, weirdly, despite being English.
Well, you're going to surprise me.
Well, kind of. Because I love the Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah.
But I have seen, all of them in the original Japanese subtitled format. And then they show them on Channel 4 quite a lot over here, but they put the English dub on. So you go, oh shit, I love Howl's Moving Castle, right? And you put Howl's Moving Castle on, and you go, fuck, I love this film. And then Christian Bale's in it, and you go, well, this is a surprise. I wasn't expecting this.
I didn't expect Christian Bale to be in Howl's Moving Castle.
I can only assume it's because the original story is written by a Welsh woman, and he is Welsh. And perhaps it's some weird thing where he was like, oh, repping the big W. I don't because he's massive news to be in that.
Like you're watching Porco Rosso and Brad Garrett is in it.
Who's Brad Garrett? I know the name. Oh wait, no shit! Wait, no, Brad Garrett is is Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Fuck! I tried to go like. I tried to make this really weird because
what's the most obscure voice acting thing?
I knew he was in that, and I knew he was in Porco Rosso because the first time I watched that in English, Everybody Loves Raymond was still relevant.
Yep.
So I was like, "Hey, it's Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond." So I'm like, yeah. This was stomping.
He's always been Grease Pit from Biker Mice from Mars to me. Always.
Holy fucking shit! He's Grease Pit
from Everybody. Fucking blast from the past right there.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, man. He's always been.
I didn't know that. Bigger shock. Luke Perry from 90210 was Napoleon Bouy.
I've never seen 90210.
You know Luke Perry?
I know the name. I'm in my head. I'm trying to picture him.
Have you seen the Buffy movie?
Have I seen
Buffy the Vampire Slayer the movie?
Dude, I haven't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer the TV show.
Well, the movie is shorter, so you might have watched that.
I see what you're going for. I saw you tweeting about Buffy earlier, and I almost chimed in with, I've never even seen this. And, like,